My name is Riley Donahue, and this is my art teaching philosophy presentation for our midterm project. When I thought about what I want my students to take away from an art class with me, um, I really want them to learn to think critically, to solve problems creatively, and inspire curiosity. I truly believe that learning about art um, is helpful for every subject. I think that you can learn a lot of discernment, observation, critical problem solving, critical thought. Um, and all of these skills transfer directly out into the world. In every subject, I believe that art can really help create amazing thinkers. And ultimately, that is my goal. I was inspired by the philosophies of Paulo Freire and Jessica Hoffman Davis when creating my creative response. Paulo Freire, I responded very well to his pedagogy of the oppressed. I felt that I also want my classroom to be a place of learning for both the teacher and students. I want my students to feel comfortable to pose questions, to clarify if they think I'm wrong about something. I want to create an open dialogue in my classroom. Um, and I have learned in my art experience that as an educator, you are also constantly learning. I recently started working with adults with disabilities, and I am an art teacher at a day hab program. Um, and I have learned already so much from my students in terms of new ways of thinking about a project, their different responses, how to make accommodations for each student. And I think that this philosophy really mirrors my own philosophy in the art classroom. As I mentioned before, I also really believe that a purpose of an art educator is to create well rounded thinkers, and they can take those skills into every other classroom. This was mirrored by some of what Jessica Hoffman Davis was arguing about students doing well at other subjects once they're in art programs. Um, and I really agree with her philosophy on this. For my creative project, I thought a lot about the philosophers that I was inspired by, and I wanted to make a project that used materials that I felt mirrored some of those philosophies. So I decided to create a paper portrait. I decided to create my portrait of Paulo Freire. But I was very specific with the materials I used because another goal of mine is for students to really see art in the world around them, um, to kind of value just the beauty of everyday life as well as paying more close attention to um, their environments and being inspired by their environment. So for this project, I used a local magazine as well as items I found around my house and even some trash that I had stored because I felt like I would use it in a future project. So I used paper towels as well as some wrappers from some bars I eat in the morning. And this is my progress video. I took a time lapse. I felt like doing a paper portrait really caused me to think about the process of the work, kind of slow down, and also utilize some of the problem solving skills that I stressed earlier because it's not an exact science. It definitely took trial and error. And I felt like it was a great way to use materials that might have gone to waste otherwise. And in my final product, I ended up adding other quotes from Paulo Freire. Um, such as to be is to be in relation to the world and others. Um, I really was inspired by that philosophy when doing the creative project, and it has made me consider a lot of other ideas that I can bring into my classroom in the future. Thank you so much.